Jurassic World Dominion, the last film in the Jurassic Park franchise, has just came out, so today I'm going to rank every Jurassic Park movie from worst to best. Tell me in the comments how you would rank the Jurassic Park films, and let's begin. At number 6 is easily Jurassic World Dominion. The interesting thing about this film is that it could have been a really good Jurassic Park movie. The dinosaurs are not on the island anymore. They are living with humans across the world and making life more dangerous. That was a great setup for a Jurassic Park movie. And instead of focusing on that, they spent 40% of the movie focusing on mutant locusts made by an evil company named Bryace that the characters from the first film have to stop. Then the other 40% of the movie is about this kidnapping with the girl from the last film. And then the last 20% of the movie is about the characters trying to get out of a burning nature reserve while there are dinosaurs. They sidelined the dino action for 80% of the film, and when there actually is dino action, I thought it was edited kind of choppy. It was a little hard to see what was going on, and it's not as memorable as the dino action in the other films. The plot itself is kind of boring, where you have Alan and Ellie from the first film going to this huge nature preserve made by Bryace to get a DNA sample of the mutant locusts, which takes a lot of screen time that mostly consists of characters talking to each other for long periods of time. And then the other half you have Owen and Claire trying to get their daughter back after she's kidnapped. And since we don't really get to learn that much about these characters, we don't really care about them, and such a lazy direction to take a film where dinosaurs are roaming the planet. They also introduced this new dinosaur called the Gigantosaurus, which is the dumbest name for a dinosaur I ever heard. And even though it was being built up as this terrifying dinosaur in the trailer, it only has like 5 minutes of screen time and is killed off very quickly at the end of the film, which just seems like really lazy writing. So at the end of the day, it's a very boring film with barely any dinosaurs, which fails as a sequel, fails as a dinosaur movie, and fails as a conclusion to the movie franchise that has shaped my childhood. Number 5 is Jurassic Park III. For me, this has always been a very mediocre and subpar blockbuster. The characters are subpar, the action is subpar, even the dinosaurs are subpar compared to the other dinosaurs in the franchise. The Spinosaurus is a fine addition to the franchise, and it does get some very terrifying scenes. But other than that, this film is just a bunch of characters traveling to an island to save a kid who is stranded there while also being chased by dinosaurs. It's only about 1 hour and 30 minutes long, it goes by pretty fast, and therefore I have no strong opinions or memories of watching this film like I do with the other films in the franchise. Number 4 is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I know there's a lot of people who absolutely hate this movie, but for me, I'm a defender of this film. This may be the scariest in the Jurassic Park franchise, and there are some scenes that are taken right out of a horror movie. And it's also probably the nicest looking Jurassic Park film. One other thing I don't like about Dominion is that it doesn't look that good. There aren't that many cool looking shots compared to the other films in the franchise, which makes Dominion even more uninteresting to me, but this film has a bunch of great shots that may be some of the best in the franchise. It's also the least predictable Jurassic Park film as it keeps subverting your expectations on where the movie is going, which makes it even more entertaining. But my problem with the film is that it feels like two films tacked on to each other. The first half is about saving the dinosaurs from an active volcano, and the second half is about an auction in a huge mansion and a dinosaur called the Indoraptor escaping and going on a rampage. So the first half of the film is an entertaining dinosaur blockbuster, and the second half of the film is a horror movie with a mutated dinosaur. Both of those ideas I think could have been handled very well. But because they're technically two movies squished into a 2-hour film, it's just a tad too rushed for me to enjoy them as much as I should. There's also other problems with this film. The storyline with the human cloning is a little too ridiculous. The villain is really uninteresting with almost no motivation for what he's doing. And it gets a little too preachy with its message, so it's a film that has some high highs and some low lows. Number 3 is The Lost World Jurassic Park. This is another film that a lot of people really hate, which is surprising to me because I enjoyed the heck out of this movie. It has some of the best scenes in the franchise and looks as good as the original in its animatronics and directing. It is Steven Spielberg after all, you can't go wrong with him as a director. Not counting these films. John Williams' score doesn't feel tacked on like in the other sequels, and those last 20 minutes with the T-Rex in New York to me is a classic Jurassic Park scene. That being said, the characters in this movie aren't as developed or as memorable as the characters in the first film. There are some big plot holes in this film that are never explained, and the villains are pretty forgettable. So it's a movie that I think is pretty good, but it's not as perfect and definitely not as good as the first movie. Number 2 is Jurassic World. This movie is an entertaining roller coaster ride from beginning to end. It's fun to see what it'd be like if Jurassic Park opened to the public, and seeing this huge theme park with dinosaurs puts a smile on my face every time I watch it. The Dominus Rex may be the most terrifying and best dinosaur in this series, and when he breaks out of his cage, you can feel the danger that the characters are in. I like how the film treats the theme park as this huge city or different world with a lot of people and a lot of attractions, so when the Dominus Rex goes on a rampage, it has big stakes as a park, and the people in it are in danger. I may like this movie more than other people simply because I have some nostalgia for this movie. I remember when it first came out in 2015, I watched it like 10 times, and rewatching it now, I was able to memorize every line from this film. So I know that this isn't a perfect film, but for me, it's the most rewatchable film in the franchise. And number 1 is the original Jurassic Park. Where do I even begin with this classic? This is a film that started the franchise and to this day remains the best Jurassic Park movie. Steven Spielberg's directing shows here, and everything from the acting to the writing to the special effects is done to perfection and is better than most movies from the 90s. But what this movie does best is build up tension. You know that this dinosaur theme park isn't going to last long by the first 5 minutes, and for the first half of the movie, you're just waiting for the dinosaurs to escape and kill everyone there. And when the dinosaurs do escape, it does not disappoint. This film is also a very nice cautionary tale of what happens if man please God, and I really liked it because it was a very subtle message told through dinosaurs eating people. This movie gets me hooked from beginning to end with its tension, characters, and message. So for me, it's easily the best Jurassic Park movie. Thanks for watching. Tell me in the comments how you would rank the Jurassic Park movies, and have a great day.